Okay, so the last book was really dark and grim, very pessimistic about the human race, very intense, and so I thought I'd continue that with The Princess Bride. I love The Princess Bride movie. I love the film. I grew up with it, and when I read the Princess Bride book, I just thought it was even more funny, more charming, more deliberately organized in a way that makes you realize that it's a narrative. In the movie, you had the dad or the grandfather reading to the grandson, and it was an interesting little device for a film. Like it was like, oh yeah, it breaks the monotony or whatever. But when he does it in the book, it becomes even more interesting to me. It becomes more compelling because then you realize that it's a choice of the writer, not of just a director or something to ground the work, to remind you that it's a fantasy. So there's no question that this book is a fantasy. But there's this neat little map inside, which is so cool, of all the different locations. So if you like the movie, there's some little throwbacks in there. Basically, you know the story. True love, action, adventure, and lots of funny little jokes. It's an adventure story, and I think what I took away from it mostly was that adventure stories don't have to be so routinely the same. And it's funny, it's charming, there's a lot of interesting characters, and that's what I loved about it, was the characters. And I think also the nostalgia. I mean, I grew up with the film, and I just thought it was charming as hell, and so when I read the book, it just continued that. There's a few differences from the book and the movie. This is one case where some of the differences don't really make sense, and some of them make a lot of sense. Like in the book, the scene with the screaming eels isn't screaming eels. I think they're sharks or something. But that's because in the movie, the sound becomes terrifying, and the sound can't be conveyed through the book, and so they use a different device to alert you to the same kind of threat of danger. The characters are just delightful. They're funny. I mean, you know this book. It's not even that hard to... I mean, it's hard to tell you about it because you know what it is and you know who these characters are. This is Princess Buttercup. This is the Man in Black. And he rescues her from a failed kidnap attempt. There's torture and swashbuckling, sword fighting. And anyway, it's just a really good read. Lots of fun. Very charming. I don't really have anything else to say.